Good morning, Downtown STEM Academy. My name is Tejas Chigurupati.
And I'm Aparna. Welcome to the 5th episode of STEM TV, the Quarantine Edition.
We have a great show for you today. Later on in this show, Ben Doyle will be sitting down with another one of STEM's wonderful staff members to see what they have been up to during this quarantine. So make sure to stay and stick around for that.
We are also excited to feature our first dance segment on STEM TV, with senior Sophie Fromal showcasing her talents in just a bit. But first, we have an important announcement about registering to vote, brought to you by STEM Dems.
Hello STEM Academy, this message is for STEM seniors about voting. Now, the law does not require citizens, including you, to vote, but voting is a very important part of any democracy. Most of you STEM seniors have a major responsibility in choosing who runs our local, state, and national government.
Younger voters are an important and necessary portion of the electorate. They hold the key to the future of the country. Collectively, young voters represent a special voice overflowing with new ideas, solutions, and ways at looking at situations differently.
Unfortunately, young people have the lowest voter turnout as the individual ages. Ever since 18-year-olds were given the right to vote in 1972, youth have been underrepresented at the polls. In fact, millennials continue to have the lowest voter turnout of any age group. Only about 46% voted in the last presidential election, compared to the 72% of boomers.
Fortunately, STEM Dems is pushing a voter registration initiative to help students fulfill their civic duty as citizens. The ultimate goal is for students to become informed about current events and for them to remain educated on candidates' platforms, whether local, congressional, or presidential. The ability to vote is super important because it allows you to have your voice in government and to make a positive impact on your community.
Please go to the link in the description/banner regardless of voter eligibility or registration status. We urge all seniors to respond to the Google form, which includes a link to the PA registration site, but collects information to your status. The Google form is quick and only asks 3 questions, so don't hesitate to complete.
And remember, May 18th, 2020 is the deadline to register to vote in Pennsylvania. So don't forget, and thanks for listening.
Thank you to STEM Dems for sharing that important information. If you will be eligible to vote in the upcoming primary for the presidential election later this year, make sure to see the link in the description to register in Pennsylvania.
Up next, we are excited to have our very first dance segment on STEM TV. Here dancing to Nonstop by Oh My Girl is STEM TV's own Sophie Fromal.
Thank you so much for sharing your dance talents and love of K-pop with us, Sophie.
Up next, Ben Doyle is back, interviewing another member of the STEM staff.
Here to tell us what she's been up to and to sternly remind juniors to stay up with their CAS and their EEs, please welcome Mrs. Buchovecky.
Hello, Downtown STEM Academy, and welcome back to STEM TV, the Quarantine Edition. My name is Ben Doyle, and today we are joined by the IB Queen herself, Mrs. Buchovecky. Mrs. Buchovecky, how have you been?
Pretty good, hanging in there. Thank you.
All right, so let's get right into it. So how have you been doing for the last few weeks?
Well, I guess I'm one of the lucky ones because I kind of prefer my alone time. So I'm not nearly as stir crazy as a lot of people who crave, being around a lot of other people. But it's starting to get a little old, definitely.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of going through the same thing there.
Mm-hmm.
So what have been some of your go-to activities during quarantine?
Bicycling on the Struble Trail.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying a lot of new recipes, and I don't know, things like I'm catching up on things that I just never seem to find time for. Like I have all the actual photos of my kids when they were little in photo albums. So I'm taking them all and combining them, doing that whole big project. So well, and a whole lot of nothing, like a whole lot of Netflixing, hula-ing. But yeah, I don't have any complaints. There's a lot of worse off people, that's for sure.
Yeah. So going back into the recipes, a lot of people have been experimenting with getting takeout, trying to cook new things. What have been some of your favorite new things that you've tried?
Well, the really cool thing is I found this app. I have to see what it's called. Meal, MEALIME. So I thought it was meal time, but it looks like meal lime.
Yeah.
And you can put in, we're choosing not to eat meat, so you can put in whatever things you don't like. Oh, you don't like Brussels sprouts? They're never going to show you any recipes with that.
Okay.
But they're quick, they're easy. I made a Thai coconut soup the other day that
sounds good.
Killer good. Yeah. Lot of Mexican things. We had cheddar apple grilled cheese the other day. Yeah, some good stuff.
All right, so now I know there are a lot of juniors sitting at home right now with absolutely nothing to do. Do you have any recommendations for what they should be getting done, or CAS ideas, CAS project ideas, things like that?
Well, a lot of the juniors have told me they're so busy with school. So I'm glad that you cleared that up. And now I know for sure that they're not doing anything or not much.
Please don't come for me.
But what I'm worried about is I'm worried they're going to think CAS is like on a hiatus because of all this. And in reality, you should have way more time to do way more things. Like there's no reason. STEM by default, I don't know why, but well, I kind of know why. The classes are usually, physical activity is usually their hardest thing.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You got no excuse now for walking, biking. I don't care what it is. If I'm doing it, you guys can certainly do it. So many service things. I keep posting. Some of my favorite ones were you could be the eyes for a blind person in New York, writing letters to elderly. And a new one just came across my desk. It's pen pals it's adopt a grandparent. So that would be a service sort of thing. And I'm going to get that information out. But I was thinking maybe to make it easier, I post these things individually, but maybe I should just keep it in a doc so you don't have to scroll through a bunch of updates, those of you who actually look at the updates. Yeah. And it might be easier for you. So I'm shocked at some of the CAS proposals that are coming in. They're really cool things. You're adjusting to the situation. Nobody's been like, I can't do this because of the circumstances. They're just, a lot of people are just getting it done. Yeah,
all right.
So.
So what are you most looking forward to by the time all of this is over? So like, who do you want to see? Where do you want to go? All of that.
I want to go to the hairdresser, Ben. And look at this. Look at this gray. And I know I could just do it myself, but I want to go to the hairdresser.
I know. I need a haircut so bad.
Yeah, this is just it's just bad. Although I am thinking about letting it all go gray. I could never decide what it would take for me to let myself all go gray, and maybe that answer is a pandemic. I don't know. So yeah, like I said, I've actually kept in better touch over, even though it might be through Zoom and stuff, with my friends and even some of my family members. So those are just some nail salon and the hairdresser frivolous little things, but I do miss them a lot.
All right. So last question. What is your best advice for students and or staff for during quarantine?
I just think everyone should appreciate the downtime. And now when you hear old people like me say, well, when we were young, we didn't have all the distractions and all the booked schedules, and it was kind of better. It was kind of more relaxing. So I'd say embrace it. We'll all be back to the rat race soon enough. I'm hoping people do make a few changes. It has been glorious seeing, I didn't even know most of my neighbors. Now they're walk all the time. They're out and about. It's been really, really nice. So that's my best advice for students and staff. Just for students though, and if you're a junior, can you please get your EE done sooner rather than later? I would appreciate it. I'm not taking pity on you. I don't do pity. Ask the seniors, but get that thing done.
I would have been grateful for like 6 months straight of nothing to be able to get my EE and a bunch of IAs done.
Yeah, there you go. So
all right, that's all the questions we have for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and hopefully we'll get to see you at graduation and everything.
I surely hope so. Graduation. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ben.
Unfortunately, we have reached the end of the show for today. But make sure to follow us on Instagram at DASD STEM TV and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with our new episodes.
With the school year almost coming to a close, there will be only 2 more episodes of STEM TV Quarantine Edition. But don't let that get you too down, because they are going to be 2 very special episodes.
Next week's episode will be a wellness special, completely dedicated to the ideas of mental and physical wellness. It will be packed with interviews from STEM's incredible support staff, who will walk you through the resources available to you on Schoology and tell you more about how they themselves will be available to support you. We are also excited to be working with Mrs. Sebi on including some at-home exercise tips to stay physically active during quarantine.
Our final show, which will debut the week after on May 29th, which will be completely dedicated to the class of 2020. We will talk with graduating members of STEM TV and see their special segments one last time before they move on to the bigger and better things in college.
We hope to see you next week for our wellness special. But for now, that's all we have for you today, Downingtown STEM Academy. My name is Aparna.
And I'm Tejas Chigurupati. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay kind, and have a great day.